We want to explore a little bit what does it mean when we use the word truth, or what is truth? And I want to make the differentiation that there's a couple of kinds of truth. We could talk about relative truth or absolute truth. Relative truth would be conventional truth. It would be the truth in the world that there's gravity, that um, various seasons go in order. There's a certain sequencing and progression of time. And there's also the relative truth of the self, of the personality, what we might call my truth. So this is influenced by our sense of self, our self-image. This is one of the lenses that we look through. That can be influenced by the core egoic deficiency when that's in operation. That's that felt sense, that belief you hold that on some level, a deep level, I'm really flawed, I'm broken, I'm bad, I'm unfixable, something like that, a really core kind of worthlessness perspective. And so, with the truth of the sense of self and the core egoic deficiency, that truth supports and relates to the assertion and confirmation of the self. So, the core egoic deficiency and the viewpoint. So, the view from the self also supports the maintenance of the self and the core deficiency. Those beliefs are held because we're looking through that lens. I hope I'm being clear here. It's like we have a lens of self we're looking through, and that's why what we're seeing is influenced by our sense of self, why the world supports our sense of self. That's what I'm trying to say. And then with absolute truth, this is unconditioned, non-conceptual, non-personal. So it's universal truth. That means there isn't the lens of self, there isn't the projection in our view of me. So what I'm getting back, the information I'm getting back is going to be pure because there isn't that lens. There's more of an openness, perhaps the clarity and precision we felt earlier, but it's a truism that we don't have to be involved in, meaning we don't have to be part of making meaning from what we're perceiving. It can have a truth on its own. And the absolute truth doesn't necessarily promote or support a sense of self. It can, because the self is also going to be an expression of the absolute. It's a distorted presentation, but it still is the absolute. So when we're in touch with absolute truth, we also will be able to communicate more clearly with more precision from the absolute. Because again, we're less landed in the view of me. So words are coming from the absolute, not the mind or the personality. When I do the guided meditations, those are words that are coming from the absolute. I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth until I hear it. So there isn't anything, perhaps I know a moment before I speak, just in that I'm perceiving like light or some movement or some distinction. So there may be, some sense of perception, direct perception, and then the words come.